Hey there, lurkers. What do you think about Foundation Season 2 and Invasion Season 1, COD, MW3, and our top trilogy breakdown?
Sounds like it's almost time for the Monopoly game at McDonald's. So let's lurk.
I will get so fat.
I know.
My favorite thing growing up, the Monopoly game at McDonald's.
Yeah, absolutely. Until they found out that it was a big scam, and you can't even get a Harrier jet for buying all the Pepsi points.
But that wasn't McDonald's. The Pepsi points was a Pepsi thing.
Correct, but the McDonald's thing was a scam.
Why was it a scam? Why was it a scam?
You're just hearing about this for the first time? Well,
no.
As it turns out, a bunch of people were like hoarding all of the cups and the fry boxes and like selling them out of the backs of McDonald's to people.
Like employees?
On the black market.
They would just like grab boxes and sell them?
Mm-hmm. And as it turns out, McDonald's wasn't even like giving away the big prizes. They never...
Those container thieves.
Yeah, so it got real weird, and there was a big federal investigation, like FBI got involved. Now they're supposedly on the up and up, but stay tuned, and ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We still love it.
I'm eating it.
Okay, I've started Season 2 of The Foundation. If anybody remembers, there was a first season that everybody was kind of talking about. Like, The Foundation is this beloved series, and it goes into a lot of weird, wild, sciencey, timey-wimey stuff. That's my bag, baby. It starts off slow and explains things, and you're like, gosh, get on with it, nerds. Come on. And then about halfway through the season, you're like, yes, next button. Yes, keep giving me more. And then it stops, and you're like, GD, I have to wait how long until the next season comes out? Well, it's here, folks. I'm on episode 4 as of this recording, and
you're on episode 4 already?
It picks up right where it leaves off almost immediately, and it's so good. It's full of action and like family relationships that make you feel something, and there's war brewing. I'm not going to spoil it because I'm not done with it, and we'll once you catch up, we'll have a full breakdown eventually. But holy cow, you have to get into this show if you're into sci-fi. 100% worth your time.
There was a lot of questions about how they were going to make this show when it first came out.
Yeah.
So my friend and your friend Ethan, I was like, hey, Apple TV's coming out with this new show. It's called Foundation. You should read the book. You're a big reader. I haven't figured that out yet.
Nerd.
Asimov has this book. It is credited as the reason George Lucas made Star Wars.
That makes perfect sense. It totally does.
And so because it has so much fame and notoriety in the sci-fi world, when the show was going to come out, people were like, well, hold on, wait a minute. This series spans thousands of years. How are you going to make this into a show series? And I think I made it a few episodes in before saying, I don't know if I'm ready. But Scott, that was, I think, before I realized that, like, what most Apple TV shows do is have this really slow lead time until you finally get to this place where it's just fast, fast, fast.
Unless you're apparently Hijack. Because our friend of the show, Joel, who is not screwed, he said it just like, boom, kicks right off and just, you're going 100 miles an hour.
Well, yeah, you're in an airplane.
That makes sense.
Probably faster.
Yeah. You can't get off the ground unless you're going that fast, yeah.
We're talking a lot about Apple TV Plus shows right now, and that's fine. I started watching Invasion because so many people were like, dude, you got to watch this show.
Me included.
You love sci-fi things. And so I'm on episode 4. and it is my nightly routine. Right before I go to bed, I set my phone down and I start watching, and I get done with the episode and I'm like, how the F am I going to follow?
Because the melatonin
It's
kicks
really
in.
great,
Yeah.
but I might have narcolepsy.
Yeah, that's another one too where I had to slog through the first half, maybe first 3/4 of the season, because I was expecting some big alien fight war movie, and I was wrong. It's all about how families interact with each other and react to an actual alien invasion that's happening. Now, the last quarter, this is not spoilers for you, but the last quarter or last third of the season involves a lot more of the things you're expecting going into it, or at least what the trailer alludes to.
Okay.
And trust me, Willie, the payoff comes. The tantric will finally allow for release. And once again,
Cool.
The very last episode, you're like, son of a bitch, I have to wait until season 2. Give it to me now.
Well, I think we've got plenty of stuff to watch right now because clearly there is a huge backlog of shows that are out there.
We are
speaking
eating good.
things that have been going for now 20 plus years.
Oh, okay, the time thing, yeah.
COD MW3 was just announced this past week. My second favorite game, probably all-time most played game, is the Call of Duty franchise.
What's your first one?
Destiny.
You're welcome.
Thanks. We'll talk about that next week. As we're recording this, we haven't quite heard Destiny's new update for the new season and some of the things coming in the final shape, so we're not going to allude to them right now. But Call of Duty, I think, in many ways has set the stage for what the best multiplayer game experience can be. And so they're bringing a lot of that to the new game this fall, I think. So I just want to talk to you a little bit, Scott. I know you're not a huge fan of multiplayer games, right?
Well, I think you kind of play into that a little bit. This is welcome to our therapy session, lurkers. Willie doesn't realize it, but Scott's about to burn his ass.
Oh, Daddy?
There's a reason I put this on here, because number one, the trailer looked amazing. And I don't play Call of Duty, like Willie was alluding to, because they took away the campaign. They removed it, and they said, this is just going to be a multiplayer game. So it ripped out the only thing I was really invested in. So I've stepped away. Now, I've tried to play multiplayer with Willie and Ethan, and they ostracized me because I wasn't competitive enough. Because I couldn't hear well enough to be in the top. And
No.
Yes,
It's not the ears.
yes.
No.
You said, and I quote, Scott, I don't know if you can, I just don't know if you can do this game as well as everybody else because you can't hear the footsteps.
I have said that, but that's number 2 of the things that it's frustrating to play with you.
Number one is I just suck.
No, it's not that you suck. It's that you're too scared.
What are you talking about?
Listen. Okay, you get a group of 4. Lurkers, for those like Derek, I know that you play Call of Duty. When you've got 4 players and you're like, hey, I see enemies in this building.
Uh-huh.
They don't know we're here, but we're here. We know they're there. So all of us together go. We're all going to go. We're all going to rush in. We're going to shoot. If one person goes down, guess what? It's going to be fine because there's 3 other people to fuck them up. Except when we play the game, Scott goes,
I'm gonna go hide over in this building. We'll see you guys later.
so what ends up happening is us fucking idiots all die. And Scott's like, everything's fine, guys. I'm going to go lay in the lake and I'll come out at the end of the game. You don't play as a team. You play as a wiener.
I was just yeah, you're right. I didn't know how to play the game, so I just I usually ran in the other direction. But let's talk about this game. Let's talk about this game
because I think you might like this.
They brought back the campaign that is highlighted.
It's been going for a while.
Like maybe the last 2. And even the first one wasn't even like a full campaign. It was like, here's a little teaser.
Modern Warfare 2. Full campaign. Amazing campaign. It was long. It was way longer than I was expecting. At the end of that campaign, which took like, I think the campaign was probably like 10 hours of playtime.
Sure. 10 hours. Not worth a $70 game. By itself.
Because that's not what you're paying for.
Right.
That's the amuse-bouche. And so you get done with that, and then you go into all the other stuff. Well, then they came out with another game in between. That's the one that we're on right now. I played the campaign, and the campaign is good.
Okay.
And so this campaign, Scott, takes all of them and just continues to add. It's this story that just keeps going and keeps going. And so, like, if you want a robust story where you can play in a way that you want to, that's what they're bringing to this game.
It sounds
so
fun.
Like in the trailer, you saw the little like Splinter Cell type guy.
Uh-huh.
Well, they say that you can go in quiet, reserved, like stealthy, or you can go in guns a-blazing and you can build your setup to play how you want to.
That might be the only thing that I really get into, is that instead of it just be like giant firefight all the time, now I can kind of like sneak in from the bottom of the lake and kill people silently, a la stealth kill spy games are.
It's going to be at night, though, so it's going to be a little too scary for you.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm definitely going to buy it on the first summer sale.
Okay.
Well, that game might not be the top of my list, but the tops of our list in the previous episode are trilogies that we know and love. So, Willie and I are going to break down our top trilogy picks from the game of Subjective because, honestly, this list was crazy. Maybe after like 18, things kind of started falling off, and I'm like, I've never heard of this. Why is this on here?
Yeah.
And another thing, too, that I found very interesting about the trilogies on this list were some of them had like a really good first movie and just okay second and third movies.
Like The Matrix. Neither of us picked The Matrix.
Matrix 1, amazing. Matrix 2 and 3, we probably could have done without.
Yeah, the first movie, I think, was like industry setting. But then you get to number 2 and you're like, okay. And then you get to 3 and you're like,
yeah, they should have been named like Money Grab and The Quest for Even More Money.
The Ghost.
Okay, so we just look at the list here. I picked Lord of the Rings. I didn't even have to say the extended edition because that trilogy is beautiful from start to finish. Every single year there is part of me, I hear like the and I'm immediately drawn to like, okay, I have to drop what I'm doing. Like a zombie, I just walk back to the television and I fire up whatever streaming service it's on, and I just sit down for 6 hours and watch the whole thing. And then like an idiot, I go back and I watch the Hobbit series.
And then you ruin it. You're like, I'm never going to watch these movies ever again.
Exactly. So you
Scott,
agree.
I agree. Lord of the Rings was an incredible first pick. The thing that surprised me most is that the list I sent you, which was from Empire, didn't include the original Star Wars trilogy.
What are you talking about? That was your first pick.
I know. I added it because I was going through this list and I was like, how it picked the prequels. Yes.
It's number 2. It's literally after Lord of the Rings.
Oh, it is. I didn't get all the way that far. Who's the goose? Why do I even do this?
We're really fortunate that Willy is the main editor of the show because sometimes you guys just don't get.
You don't know. I try to keep it that way. You know, I don't like feeling like an idiot.
I know, but
it just happens.
we have to embrace our idiotness.
How did I end up from this list getting number 2 and 3? You skipped Back to the Future?
Only because, just like The Matrix, I feel like the second and third movies, which are carbon copies just in a different time setting, don't necessarily make it for an audience-pleasing trilogy. Now, I could be totally wrong, and, that could be, like, for me, for everybody else, a huge nostalgia thing, and because, honestly, like, if you ask me...
You even said it was your favorite.
It's my favorite. It might be my favorite movie, the first one, of all time.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to pull that bias out of the game and try to attract a wider audience.
Sure.
But I would say that the Indiana Jones trilogy, I don't like the second one. I like the first one and I like the last one. Second one doesn't really do anything for me, even though it spawned the career of Ki Hai Kwan, and it's got like one of the most iconic Kali Ma, like heart-ripping scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Monkey brains. I have always been fascinated by what those taste like because of that show.
Or the line, Indy.
Yeah. There's just so much that comes out of it, but I just didn't like it. Probably because I was scared when I watched it the very first time.
Oh, man. I mean, at 84, you were 4 years old, so...
Yeah.
That tracks.
I watched it probably when I was 5, and probably shouldn't have. But I think that's a strong number 2 to have on the list.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So, like... There's some interesting omissions from our lists. I want to get to those here in a second, but I went deep for Mighty Ducks.
It was my
me,
fifth
easily.
pick. It was going to be my number 5 if it survived, even though I thought we would be battling for it, so I thought maybe you would jump and take it a little too high. The third movie I don't like, but the first two are iconic.
I think that's fair. The third movie's weird. Like, they go to, like, a prep school.
Yeah. After playing in the Olympics? What?
Do you want to hear something weird? A coworker of mine is an extra in that movie.
A lot of my friends were extras in that movie.
What?
Yeah, they found out in the paper somehow that they just go and sit and apply, and they were just like, yep, you, not you, you, just, and then, like, wear red and scarves and
God,
hats
you
and
have
stuff.
old friends.
That I hate to tell you this, Willie, but that movie is just as old as you are, if not older.
Don't.
So some ones that we didn't add to our list. Die Hard. That's a really good trilogy.
Do you want to know why I didn't put Die Hard on there?
Because you hate Bruce Willis?
Who doesn't? Because I haven't seen number 1 or 2.
You haven't seen the first Die Hard?
No, Bree and I started watching it, and we didn't finish.
Okay. You have until December 31st to watch that movie. And you should watch it probably December 25th. Because everybody says it's a Christmas movie.
Okay. Because there's a Christmas party at the beginning? Come on.
I know. It's all lies. Hearsay and conjecture. The original Spider-Man trilogy?
That was on my list. I was fighting in my head, Mad Max or Spider-Man. Mad Max or Spider-Man. And I screwed it up. I'm such an idiot.
And then my backup number 5, had you not let Terminator slip through, was Austin Powers. Which is so funny and like created Mike Myers. I remember going and seeing it in the theater at the same time that I saw, or at least in my head, at the same time I saw Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I think it was around the same time. But
Yep.
To this day, I remember one of my friends said, "You have to go see Austin Powers." I literally peed my pants laughing in the movie theater. It was so funny.
Go back and watch it. You can watch it on a streaming site, and it's not good.
What are you talking about? It's still good.
I implore you to go and start the first one. Start watching it. It's on Max, the place for HBO. You'll get like halfway through and be like, it's not what I thought it was. I promise.
I watched his most recent thing, the Pentaveret on Netflix, and it's basically him trying to do the whole shtick where I play every single character, and I'm really funny because I got these one-liners, and it made me nostalgic. So I did go back and watch Austin Powers
Recently?
6 months ago, beginning of the year.
Oh,
and yeah, I got tired of it like halfway through.
you're a liar. So I can't believe that we skipped The Godfather.
I can, because here's my blasphemy of the week, Willie. I've never seen any of the movies.
Me neither.
You can tell we're not cinephiles.
No, we're so dumb. And I was gonna put Scream on my list, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was never making my list. Even though it's still going.
These, I think, it's a great list. I'll put it in the show notes. I would love to know what everybody else's top 3 trilogies are.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments if you made it this far in the episode.
True. That's our show, you lovely lurkers. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Please rate and review wherever you lurk.
We appreciate your love. So let's remember, be kind to one another out there. And we will see you next week.